So the Vinsmoke family is finally here. We have our first official reveals for some of the Vinsmokes coming our way, including a new leader in the form of Vinsmoke Reiju, blue and purple. We're going to talk about her in a little bit. But as you know, OP06 is coming out on the 25th of November if I'm not wrong, and the theme of it is going to be based on, well, GERMA 66 Vinsmoke family, but also a little bit on Zoro and Sanji based on the artwork right here. Some of the cards in OP06 are definitely going to be supporting the SD12 deck, so that's something to look forward to. But for this video, we're just going to talk about all the Vinsmokes that have been leaked or revealed in the past day or so. Sorry I couldn't get to it sooner, but now let's talk about the newest waifu leader on the block, Vinsmoke Reiju. Let's go. Alright, so this is a Vinsmoke Reiju leader. It's blue and it's purple, 4 life, 5000 power, part of the Vinsmoke family and GERMA 66. So this is going to be the main, one of the main core cards in OP06, focusing on the Vinsmoke family as well as GERMA 66. So, you know, we can expect such as cards in relation to GERMA 66. So definitely going to look forward to it. I have a feeling that Judge is going to be one of the super rares in the set, but that's just speculation. So Vinsmoke Reiju is on your turn once per turn. When one of your Dawn cards on the field is returned to your Dawn deck, draw one card. Fairly simple effect, but actually really quite powerful because, as you all know, purple has a lot of Dawn minus effects that are extremely powerful. Let's just put 3 examples on the screen. First of all, the 4-cost Trafalgar Law blocker from SD10, the one that lets you discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand when it's more than 7. Not only do you get to thin your opponent's hand a little bit, you get to draw a card with Reiju's effect. Also, Magellan. Magellan's just getting better and better every single set. Your opponent minuses Dawn, you get to draw a card. And of course, you got the old classic favorites like King. Also, you can put Kaido in here, the 9-cost Kaido, which is really great. Dawn -5 or Dawn -1, and you draw 1, and you get to KO something on the field. Just really, really powerful. And because your Dawn minusing affects anyway, the new Eustace kit from OP05, whenever you Dawn minus something, you can get Dawn back in active, will be extremely useful in this deck. So you can already see the deck kind of form. You have all these powerful Dawn minus abilities alongside Eustace kit. Put a couple of blue cards in there that lets you bottom deck a bunch of stuff. You get a perfectly working deck just like that. Vinsmoke Reiju, definitely one to look out for also because it's a waifu leader. Definitely the alternate art's gonna go for a little bit more than the others, but there you go. So now we'll talk about the other characters that have been revealed, mostly Niji, Ichiji, Yonji, as well as Reiju herself. I'm gonna flash them all on screen so we can just take a look at the effects together, starting from Vinsmoke Niji. Now, the whole shtick of the Vinsmoke family is that they want you to be at a lesser Dawn count than your opponent. So that's the whole kind of strategy behind Vinsmoke, similar to like, you know, how like the purple stuff has been going recently. So this is just another way of expanding on that. So let's start with Vinsmoke Niji. 5-cost, 6000 power, and on play, if you have less Dawn on your field than your opponent, choose one of the following: KO up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 2 or less, or return up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 4 or less to their owner's hand. So very versatile card. This is what you kind of want to see at your 5-cost 6000 power slot. You have the option to KO something that's a little bit weaker, like a Searcher or a 2-cost blocker, 2 or less blocker, or you have the option to target something that's a little bit more powerful by out-tempoing them by returning it to your hand. Somehow this feels like both a purple card and a blue card at the same time, so that's actually really quite cool. Definitely going to be, depending on the metagame, a card that could potentially see play. Next we got Vinsmoke Ichiji, 7-cost, 7000 power, fairly standard. And on play, if you have less Dawn on your field than your opponent, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2000 power for this turn, and then this character gains Rush. So it sort of acts like Ace a little bit, except you don't really need to have a Whitebeard pirate leader dependent for the Rush ability to activate. Even though it's not -3000 power and it's only affecting 1, it's still a very powerful card. Giving something -2000 power and then gaining the ability of Rush to attack into that character is really powerful. Especially right now with all of the big bodies on the field, like OP05 is kind of diverging to a slightly bigger power meta game. And if you are, you have the ability to minus power something and then play Vinsmoke HEG minus 2000 again, and then this character gains rush and attack into that character, also very powerful. And because he's at 7000 power, he probably gets over some of those 5 cost 6000 power blockers. Fairly powerful card for sure. Next is Vinsmoke Yonji, 4 cost 5000 power with counter 1000. If you have less Dawn on your field in your opponent, this character has plus 1000 power and has blocker and counter 1000, yeah. So this is sort of like a little bit like Borsellino, the black Borsellino blocker. If you have less Dawn, he gets 1000 power. This is, one of those cards that will see play, especially if you need that 4 cost 5000 power blocker slot. If it's gonna be playing like the Borsellino sort of, then yeah, I can definitely see this being played for sure, especially if you're gonna be at a lower Dawn count than your opponent. And then the first super rare, or I think it's the first super rare from OP06, is Vinsmoke Reiju. So definitely going to get an alternate art. Not sure. I mean, I don't know how high Reiju is on the waifu scale for the One Piece characters, so we gotta kind of wait and see. But 4 cost 5000 power, and on play, if you have less Dawn on your field than your opponent, if you have 5 or less cards in hand. So we've seen sort of like a little bit of this in other card effects. 4 cost 5000 power, very solid stat line, and very utility based because you can draw 2 cards as long as you fulfill the condition of having less Dawn than your opponent, which you will be aiming to do with Vinsmoke Reiju, and if you have 5 or less cards in your hand. So maybe in the later game, once you have constantly Dawn minus something, Vinsmoke Reiju comes down, draw 2 cards, very powerful effect. Early game, gotta, depending on whether you're already used Dawn minus effects, you can definitely utilize her ability. So yeah, at all points in the game, really good. Not as powerful as some of the other cards out there like Ulti, which I do think is still the stronger multicolored searcher, or at least a card advantage card type card. This is, very dependent on you having less Dawn on your opponent. So at some parts you may not be able to utilize the ability, but it's in purple. You definitely have ways. There might even be a repeated GERMA type stage card that lets you Dawn minus every single turn by like resting the stage card, Dawn minus, activate whatever ability it has, and then you can play the Reiju out and then utilize the effect. Something like that. I feel like that's gonna be in the pipeline. So if it happens, then let's just say I said it first. There you go, just a few cards coming from OP06, with the main draw being Reiju as the leader, the new leader. So we have Yamato revealed, and now we have Reiju revealed, so that's 2 out of 4 already. There is going to be a little Thriller Bark sub-theme in this set as well, so I'm expecting there to be a Gecko Moria leader if they are going to be going hard. Maybe it's just a little subset thing, not a full-on team, but given that it's part of the promotional material when they're describing the set itself, I think Gecko Moria could be a good fit. Anyway, let me know what you think about Vinsmoke Reiju. Is this a strong enough leader to kind of compete with the current landscape of leaders that we have right now? I think it's a really solid effect because, card advantage is always necessary. But is it strong enough? Because it doesn't really affect anything else, and it needs you to Dawn minus stuff. So that's just my thoughts on Vinsmoke Reiju. Can't wait to see the alternate art as with Yamato as well. So let me know what you think. Hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.